10 seconds, ready? Go.
Nobody functions well when they're anxious.
10, 9,
Anxiety clouds your thinking and makes you make stupid mistakes.
8, 7,
The best thing is preparation.
6.
That's why the football team practices this play over and over, running out to kick the last-second game-winning field goal.
1.
Yes, it's a heart-pounding moment for fans, but they haven't prepared for it. The players have, so they're less anxious and can perform better. That's true for academic tests as well. This drill serves the same purpose as a practice exam.
Did everybody work the practice exam?
Well, taking pre-mock tests always helps. Any sort of question that's similar to the test questions that you're going to be getting. It could even be an old test, by the same instructor where you get some practice.
So let's go over the practice exam. Have you been looking at your answers?
In sports, coaches simulate game conditions, including time pressures. Do the same when taking practice tests or even doing certain kinds of homework.
I know what a lot of students do with math problems is when they do homework, they work their problems at a much slower pace, or if they're very methodical, but then when they get to the exam, they've got to work faster, and they're not used to working them at that fast pace. So I usually encourage students to always do your homework at the same pace you're going to have to do the problems on the exam, so you're actually practicing at that level.
When the prof hands out the test, it's only natural to worry a little. But if you worry to the point where you can't perform well, here's an idea.
If they're used to worrying, I have them actually write some thoughts down on a card that are more neutral. And they might be things like, I've really studied for this test, I'm going to focus on the material, I'm going to answer every question. It takes practice. It doesn't happen overnight, but if they can get used to just replacing the worrying thoughts with more neutral thoughts, over time they typically become more used to the neutral thoughts, and that becomes their mode. A lot of students have participated in sports, and they're very familiar with the mental game aspect of it. So a lot of times they've done visualizations in sports, so their coaches talk to them about not imagining falling down if you're in the track. You don't go to the, getting ready to take off and go, what if I fall down? But a lot of those same students then when they have an exam will allow themselves to think that sort of thought with a test, and they don't realize that a test is very much like a sporting event where they've been practicing something and they have a chance to show it. Show what they know. If I can get them to touch base with their thoughts about the sports, because a lot of them made it work in sports. They understood how that worked, and if they can translate that to taking the exam and realize, yeah, I see what you mean, and they'll even do visualizations for the exam. They'll actually see themselves, they'll close their eyes and see themselves going in, feeling calm, answering the questions, remembering what they studied, and they practice these visualizations a day or two before the test and the morning of the test. And by doing that, it's very powerful and can really create the right atmosphere.
And it works?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, in the same way it does for sports. It's identical.
In fact, it's identical for any kind of performance. If you haven't played sports, maybe you played in a band or an orchestra or sang in a choir. So instead of a coach, you've had a conductor. Both work with you to help you perform well under pressure. Here's what to remember about test anxiety. Thorough preparation is a key antidote to test anxiety. Practice essay and problem-solving questions at test speed. Practice positive thinking. It works.